NBBL Summer Scramble Bracket Round 1 in under 60 seconds. Go! Where have I seen this team before? Looks oddly similar to something I have faced in the past, but no matter, because I have Lead Mamoswine with Trailblaze, Ice Shard, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake. After a Trailblaze, I outspeed just about everything at +1, and then Ice Shard, Icicle Spear, and Earthquake means I can do a lot of damage. And speaking of a lot of damage, I wanted a counter to Gouging Fire. So that's why I got Glimmora with a Rocky Helmet, Spiky Shield, Stealth Rock, Mortal Spin, and Power Gem. My goal? Poison and get up chip damage. Pretty simple. And then next up I want more damage, so that's why I got Meowscarada with a Choice Band, Knockoff, Triple Axle, U-Turn, and Trick. Trick to absolutely neuter one of his Pokemon, and then U-Turn and knock off just about everything else. But of course, time for some rain, guys. So of course, Pelipper is next with Weather Ball, Knockoff, U-Turn, Roost. Standard. And next up, Thunderous Therian with Tera Flying, Tera Blast, Thunderbolt, Weather Ball, and Volt Switch. Gonna get off crazy damage on his entire team and pivot around pretty easily. And for my last guy, I have the GOAT Arcralladon with Stamina, Leftovers, Protect, Dragon Tail, Electroshot, and Draco Meteor. A great wall into just about everything, and I can Protect to get some Leftovers healing while phasing things out with Dragon Tail. And boosting with Electroshot and Draco Meteor, like usual. That's it for the team builder. I hope you all enjoy. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to not miss any more of my Draft League content, and I will see you guys in the battle. Alright everybody, welcome to the battle. Sadly, I'm going to be doing some post-commentary, so that is 100% not going to be fun. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. My audio did not record, so this is kind of just the best I can do here. But anyways, yes, you see we are facing off against Xand again, back-to-back. Kind of unfortunate, and also kind of, like, just not amazing, to be honest. But regardless, I thought that leading Meowscarada was the best thing here, mainly just because I thought Gliscor would have been a pretty good lead option for him, and even if he led Cornerstone or Terapagos again, or just about anything really, I could just U-turn out for free, even if he led like Gouging Fire or something. So I was like, okay, leading Meowscarada is 100% fine. I kind of wanted to lead Mamoswine, but genuinely seeing his team comp meant that I just really didn't want to. So at the end of the day, that's why I picked Meowscarada, as he does end up leading Gliscor, and then I throw out Meowscarada. So what I end up doing here is, of course, he knows that I can threaten him with Triple Axle. Like, at the end of the day, why wouldn't I have Triple Axle on this Meowscarada here? So I'm thinking a little bit. I could click Triple Axle, I genuinely could, or I could even click Knockoff to knock off this thing's Toxic Orb. I don't exactly love the idea of U-turning out, because even though, yes, I do think a switch is 100% understandable, I like the idea of knocking off a little bit more, just because I think this is the easiest switch of his life, as he ends up switching out into, as you see, Metagross coming on in here. And this is a banded Meowscarada, so this knockoff is going to do an insane amount of damage here, and it ends up just KOing. It was in fact a crit, which is unfortunate for sure, because if I was not choice banded, then I do end up killing, not killing, but I don't kill this this Metagross. So Meowscarada getting the kill here does hide the fact that I am choice banned. So for all he knows, I could be Scarf, I could be Boots. He doesn't know what I could be here. So this is a very good position for me to be in for sure. And I'm thinking, okay, I am super lucky here. I am tremendously lucky. But anyways, I bring in, he brings in Gouging Fire. And then I'm thinking, I could bring in Pelipper, but at the same time, I don't love a banded Outrage hit, or even a +1 if he decides to Dragon Dance here. So what I ended up deciding to do here is I think that Arcralladon is the best option, mainly just because Draco Meteor can guarantee at least, at bare minimum, like an insane amount of damage, like 75%, unless he's like max HP, max special defense, maybe even Assault Vest. But at the same time, like, he doesn't 2-hit KO me because of stamina. So I think that Arcralladon is 1000% the best option here into his Gouging Fire, as he just goes for Outrage. I ate the Dragon Claw easily, but that outrage did a lot of damage. But now I am at +1, and after some leftovers healing, I am now out of range of outrage. So I think that it is just easy to just drop a Draco here, nice and easy, as he goes for outrage again, locked in, and he crits me. So yeah, this is really bad now, because this Gouging Fire, not really in the best position for me, and to make matters even worse, he is confused now, so he's no longer locked. So I could have brought in Mamoswine and killed this for free afterwards. But instead, now I have to bring in Mamoswine and have to try to make some reads here. So I think I can't risk him staying in and going for another Outrage or a Heat Crash or a Flare Blitz or something along those lines. So what I end up doing here is I feel like Earthquake is kind of just the only option I can afford to make right now. I could, in theory, go for a Trailblaze. I do think that's what I ended up doing, is going for a Trailblaze as he switches in Gliscor or Tornadus. However, I'm not 100% sure what the best play here really is. I do end up going for Earthquake as he swaps out likely into Gliscor here from what I remember. Yes, he does end up switching into Gliscor, which is a little on the rough side. 100%, especially since that if I Icicle Speared or even Ice Sharded, this would have been crazy good for me. But I do see that Toxic Orb does not proc here, so really interesting for sure. But he decides to just opt to set up rocks, as now I go for Icicle Spear, and even with only 2 hits, this guaranteed kills this Gliscor. So right now, I am feeling like I am in a pretty good spot. Metagross and Gliscor being down here, I feel like is amazing. And Mamoswine is my Focus Sash user. So this thing being out when rocks are up means that at the very least I have my Sash intact still. Whereas if he knocked me off, Earthquaked, then that would be broken. And granted, yes, then I wouldn't have rocks up, but I could still get off some huge damage on something. As now he brings in Tornadus. So at the time, he is Tera fighting here. I did forget to mention that before, but yes, Tera fighting Tornadus Therian, as now he goes for the Tera, obviously, to just Tera Blast fighting me. Not wanting to risk the Focus Mist, I 1000% get it. As I go for Trailblaze because I wanted to get a little bit of chip damage off, and if he goes for U-turn, then I am in a really good spot afterward. Instead, he just goes for Tera Blast, which, again, I am fine with. I have the Focus Sash, but I even just lived that raw, so that's pretty nice. As now I got the speed boost, and now I'm sort of thinking, okay, I could go for the max roll on Icicle Shard, but I'm not really the biggest fan of that right now, mainly just because if I get anything less, then I have no reason to just not click Earthquake. And honestly, he doesn't really have any great switch-ins to Earthquake at this current point in time either anyways, now that Gliscor is down and Tornadus is Terra'd. So Earthquake here, unironically, is kind of just the best option here. And it is worth mentioning that I do kill with a crit. So at the same time, I just think going for Earthquake is just the best option here. Letting Mamoswine go down in exchange for some amazing chip. If I did read that Earthquake chip, I might have been able to Ice Shard afterward if I could read the Tera. But at the same time, I didn't really feel like that was the best possible option for me. So now I bring in Meowscarada, who, as far as I'm aware right now, I could be playing it like it is Scarfed. And I don't think that he is Scarfed right now either. There's a very real chance that he is, but if he is Scarfed, then I feel like he has to fear that I am Scarfed. So I end up going for U-turn, as I do the calcs, and U-turn should be enough to kill this if he does end up trying to stay in on me, but there really should be no reason that he stays in here unless he is Scarfed. So I am mainly just bluffing that for that particular reason, as I am hoping that Terapagos comes out. Or even a Gouging Fire for that matter, trying to catch it out a little bit to get in with another Mon, to hopefully whittle it down a little bit with like Glamora mainly, who is supposed to be my dedicated answer. not dedicated answer, but my best answer into it with Rocky Helmet alongside all my other options here. As now I go for the U-turn on this Ogerpon, knocking it down into Sturdy. So that is pretty good, I would say, for me, for sure. And now Meowscarada coming back, and I am not 100% sure what I wanted to go for here, mainly because nothing else is really good. So I can kind of force to go into Glimmora here, as now I'm like, okay, let me just Mortal Spin, because I can get rid of these rocks, I can live one hit, if he wants to switch, I get a poison on something. I feel like that is so far the best possible option, and even if he does end up wanting to switch into Gouging Fire or something along those lines, or even chip me after the fact, I can still get some chip damage with Spiky Shield alongside, because if he has to do damage to me, then he has to get poisoned. But he goes for Leech Seed, forgetting the fact that Mortal Spin gets rid of Leech Seed on top of hazards. So this is a really good position for me, because now Ogerpon is dead, Glimmora is out, and then I have no rocks, no Leech Seed out. I essentially just outsped and killed the Ogerpon, basically. And now Terapagos comes out, and this is a mirror of turn 1 of last game. And Poison really helped me there, so I thought that going for Mortal Spin was the better option. But at the same time, I had a feeling that if he did go for Earth Power, I'd be in a pretty bad spot against Gouging Fire. So I'm kind of in like a mixed bag spot right now, where I have to kind of hope that he tries to set up on me, in which case I'm not the biggest fan of that. So this, again, would have been an amazing time to have Arc Ralladon to be able to phase this out with Dragon Tail. But c'est la vie, this is kind of the best thing I can do right now. As now I just end up going for the Mortal Spin to get that chip damage off on him, because I really, really don't like having this thing's Terra Shell up. So I get the poison off, as thankfully my read not ending up as good as I thought it was, because now Terapagos eats the Key Berry, boosting its defense, and now it is both of its defenses at +1 and a +1 special attack boost. So at the time I was thinking, oh, this is fine, I have poison off on it, so this is 100% a-okay. Maybe I can just get some damage off, maybe I can stall out a little bit with Spiky Shield, get a little bit of chip. And little do I know that this is a terrifying position to be in. In hindsight, I do end up making the right plays, because you will see in a moment what this thing is. Because this thing is evil. This thing is a straight up evil Terapagos set. As now, I am thinking I'm doing okay, because Meowscarada can hopefully come on in. I'm choice banded. All I need to get is Terapagos to 50% HP, and it is now in range of 3-hit triple axle, which I think right now is my win con, is getting it into range of 3-hit triple axle, which I think is a doable option for sure. But I am also very, very spooked, because if I let Glimmora go down, then my options into Gouging Fire are very, very slim. And on top of that, I don't want to switch out into anything else right now. But I kind of have no other option to just go for some chip damage here. As now, Terapagos goes for Rest. And yes, it is a Rest Talk Terapagos with a Key Berry. So right now, I am really, really scared, because Tera Starstorm kinda Shreks me right now. But I end up going into Meowscarada, hoping that Triple Axle can bail me out here a little bit. As now he stays asleep, of course, and goes for Rest Talk. I do get a little lucky with the Calm Mind for sure, because if this was Tera Starstorm, I just died. Just straight up died, and then I auto-lost to this. However, I have Trick as my other option. So I end up tricking this Terapagos, my choice band, and now it is choice locked into Sleep Talk, which now at this point in time, if I live this next turn with the sleep talk, I'm in a really good spot right now because this thing is locked into sleep talk and it is forced to switch out because it can't even rest to make itself asleep anymore. So I am at the point in time where I am popping the hell off for that amazing play. As now I know for a fact he has to switch. So I am going for a U-turn, predicting that switch right now. I'm not 100% sure what he ends up switching in here. I believe he ends up switching into Gouging Fire, if I remember. Maybe Tornadus. Yes, Tornadus. But then this thing gets U-turned, does not do much damage. Would have been in range before, but hey, Regenerator. It's kind of this whole deal. But now I feel like I am in a very good position to do some really solid damage here, as now Captain can come on out, and nothing really wants to switch in on a Weather Ball right now. So that's what I end up wanting to go for. A good old Weather Ball here, because I KO this Tornadus from this range, and I do a solid chunk to Gouging Fire, and then if Terapagos ends up coming back in, then it is Choice Band, forced to go for an attacking move. And on top of all that, then it's still going to get its Terra Shell broken. It's still not going to eat this hit very well after some time. So I feel like I'm in a very good position here to just sort of let Pelipper try to take on this Terapagos one-on-one. Because that did a solid amount even as a technically resisted hit. But now I'm also like, okay, U-turning out here is a pretty good idea, because I feel like, at the time at least, letting this thing tank another hit, living for one more turn to allow me to basically get a free switch on just about, like, you know, Tornadus, like Terra Blast fighting, even though I don't think that's what it'll go for. I feel like it would go for just Hurricane always, or even Bleak Wind always, or a Gouging Fire, like a sack for that matter. And at the time, I felt like Terra Blast flying into this thing was just good. Like, I had no reason to just not go for it. They had no switch-ins. The Terra Shell was broken. So I thought that I was in an amazing position to just click Terra and Terra Blast flying everything on his team, because I thought I was in a really good spot, for sure. But we shall see here that now Terra Blast, while it's going to do a lot of damage, it is not going to get the KO. I think that might have been a range. I can't remember for sure, but this Terra Blast Starstorm does a crazy amount of damage, especially considering I felt like that was going to always kill. Like, I was choice specs. Like, that was a lot of damage. But regardless, I now claim the KO on this Mon, and I felt like I was in a good spot. But of course, Tornadus outsped me. So I was like, okay, maybe I gotta let this go down in exchange for getting a free switch into Meowscarada or something to be able to challenge this Tornadus then. So I was like, maybe I'm not in as good of a position as maybe I thought. Especially since I don't OHKO the Gouging Fire that comes on in if he ends up wanting to go for Gouging Fire. So, at the end of the day, I was probably overconfident at this moment. Especially considering his two best Mons, outside of maybe Terapagos. Terapagos is probably up there. But his two best Mons are still in the back. And one of them is at full HP and the other one is at minimum 75%. So, as my Mons are a half HP Pelipper, and then a nearly dead Tera Tornadus Therian. So I think, okay, I'm gonna click Terra Blast here, because I outspeed this, I do a lot of damage with it, and then I can revenge kill with Meowscarada. I'm like, okay, I'm in a good spot, I'm fine, it's all good, but he is scarfed Gouging Fire, so he ends up KOing Tornadus. Not Tornadus, Thundurus. That crit did not matter, so at the end of the day, not a big deal there. So now I'm like, okay, I kept Glamora healthy for this specific reason. I can now go for Power Gem, and just do a crazy amount of damage to this thing. Actually, what I end up doing is I go for Power Gem to hopefully catch Tornadus on the switch as Spiky Shield, and then I can Spiky Shield after. I do progressively more and more chip damage, and then it will be in range of Meowscarada afterwards. Because after Rocky Helmet, Spiky Shield, Rocky Helmet again, he's 100% in range of Meowscarada after a Power Gem. So I end up going for Power Gem here, as now he goes for Outrage, and crit kills me. And that is sort of where it kind of ends for me now. Because while yes, this Rocky Helmet chip is still nice, I 1000% needed that Power Gem damage in order to put this thing in range of Meowscarada. And the confusion there doesn't matter, even if he was locked into 3. Any of my mons died here. The only thing he really could have done is like, okay, he wouldn't be able to switch into Tornadus here, but he wouldn't have been confused, so he wouldn't have had a reason to anyways. So again, Tornadus comes on out, gets poisoned. This Weather Ball is going to do a chunk and a half to this thing. If not, just kill it outright. It does not, in fact, kill it outright. I think this might have been Assault Vest Tornadus at the time. I can't remember exactly, but I end up going for Roost because I hope that Bleakwind would not kill. It does. I can't remember what the damage calcs were on that. I think it was right around 50%, so I think I was always in range. But now, of course, at least he is in range of Meowscarada. He has no reason to switch into Gouging Fire here. So he ends up just switching, sacking Tornadus here, as I'm like, okay, if he's Scarf, I lose anyways. But he's Scarf, Gouging Fire, so there's no way I can win here. So, yeah, that is really rough for me, for sure. Especially considering that, maybe if I was... Actually, no, not even if I was play rough. To be immune to Outrage, because then he just goes for a Fire-type move. And even in the rain, a Fire-type move from a Gouging Fire should at the bare minimum be able to 2-hit KO me, and I don't 2-hit KO a Gouging Fire with this much HP. With Play Rough, that's not banded. So there's really nothing more I could really do here, as now I just click Triple Axle and let Meowscarada go down to this Outrage. Really, really rough, especially considering that both of those crits that Gouging Fire got with Outrage could have neutralized this threat. Both Arcralodon being able to do that, as well as Glamora would have been able to beat it, but at the end of the day, what more can you do? That's Mons for you. And I hope you all enjoyed this season of the NBBL Pokemon Draft League Summer Scramble, and I will see you guys in the very next season coming very, very soon. And I hope you guys are keeping an eye out for it. See y'all around.